practice combos they'll never use in actual games. It's true. Very, very true. And even if you do them, they're never good. They're never, ever good. None of these combos you want to use in an actual match, ever. They are the least optional thing. They're the least optimal combo you could ever do. They're the least optimal. But it's kind of cool to see what you can do. But that's it. But that's honestly it. But that's really about it. It's just kind of looking at the possibilities, and that's it. I wish there was a submittable combo thing. It's actually a good idea. I would think so. Yeah, it's a mini. Yeah. Oh God. God, yeah. You're not even kidding. Like, if you could have people submit bread and butter combos, and then like it would have the statistic, and it would compare everybody's bread and butters together, and that way you could see how much damage and stun you're getting from everybody's combos. You could kind of take notes and see how easy or hard it is compared to other combos and shit like that. Yeah, that'd be really good. That would be really, really good. And then, like, you know, you can turn those into trials, right? People submit bread and butter combos as trials. So you can practice them in the game, and the game will show you how to do them because it'll be a real person that recorded it and uploaded it to the thing. Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, that'd be great. That would help people out a lot because then they don't have to go online, right? Because that's a really big thing about fighting games. In order to get good at fighting games, in order to understand them, you have to read about them, you have to view YouTube videos. You cannot innately get good at a fighting game without outside resources. You just can't. Just like you can't get good at a game without fighting real people. But even to get to that point, you do have to know some things. Nobody would know what an option select is in Street Fighter 4, right? Nobody had any idea until another person discovered it and then spread that information online. But it wasn't through the game that people understood that option selects were a thing, because you can't even tell what an option select would be or is from your perspective. In the middle of a match, you don't know, because all you see is a guy just, like, crouch blocking or something, right? You don't see him inputting an input that covers both a throw and blocks. You don't see that part. You just see the guy crouching. You don't even really know if he's blocking until you've thrown out an attack. You have to go online and outside the game to understand what's happening in the game. And fighting games are like one of the very few games that require outside resources. I think that is probably one of the reasons why casuals don't stick with the game, is because you do have to invest time outside of the game understanding the game. And then you can go back to your game and bring that knowledge in. But something like that, where the basic bread and butters, not just basic, but like everybody would be able to submit their own combos, right? And so if you're just looking for the absolute best bread and butter combo, the one that you should always be using for damage, you can go look it up. But maybe you're looking for something simpler that has comparable damage, you can go look that up too. And either of those would be available. They would be done by somebody. You could replicate them in a trial-like situation like this. The game, I mean, you could even maybe have pointers, like if there's little mini walks. Because look at this thing that I'm doing here, right? When I try and do this combo here, it's not working, right? Look at that. You see how this is no longer working? That's because this thing assumes that you are going to watch the demo. And if you watch the demo, you'll notice that there's a little bit of a mini walk in here between the, I think it was this thing here, the V trigger, when she does the V trigger. She does a little bit of a walk here where she walks a little bit closer and then steps on his foot. That way you're a little bit closer for this to land. Because if you're not, then it's not going to land. You're going to get pushed away. So that is something that I would never have noticed if I didn't understand that micro walks, as stupid as a term as that is, are a thing in Street Fighter V. Micro walks. Where you just take The smallest step forward. The smallest step. You can see even like not, it's barely even one of those squares, right? Right on the floor where my foot is. Yeah. I mean, it's just, I know that because I read about it somewhere. I would never have known about it in this game just playing this game. I never would have seen it, even if I were to view the demonstration, because it's so small a thing, I wouldn't have seen it. I just wouldn't have known. I wouldn't have known to look for it. And there it is. There it is. Right as soon as I complain about it, I get it. You see, it's just, it is trying to find information outside of the game to bring into your game. I think that I personally think it's kind of cool because I like doing the research. But if I was a casual guy who liked to play all sorts of shit and I wasn't really focused on fighting games, I think your suggestion there is a really, really good way of leaving a better impression with a casual player, right? Because you wouldn't have to go to YouTube or anything. You would just have everything, all your information would be right in there. I think Guilty Gear did a really good job. Xrd did a really good job with its tutorial. The first base game of Xrd had a very intricate tutorial about all your mechanics and how you would apply them. And it would even give you situations where this guy's pressure game would come in on you, and this is how you use the mechanic to help you out of that situation. Xrd had that. That was almost what we're talking about, but rather than just about combos, we're talking about like, here's a setup where this guy comes on with an air dash, and here's a pressure string. You could train that. You could trial mode that in Guilty Gear Xrd. And then in Revelator, I think even in Revelator 2, they upped the ante of that, and they went even deeper and explored even more options. In the case of Xrd, I think maybe the problem there is that there's so much information that it's kind of overwhelming, even if, as a casual player, at least the option's there, though, right? You get to play it. But as a Guilty Gear person, like, I think there's just a lot. There's a lot of ways that things interact with, and so it's difficult to really be like, that's perfect. But it's a great step, is really the thing. Even if the end result, it still needs some work, I think it was a fantastic step. Xrd had a great tutorial for that. Just taking that sense, but letting players put in trials. That's a really great idea. I mean, I think it's a great idea. And then you could learn your combos and basic bread and butters. Oh man, that'd just be nice. That'd be nice, because then I would actually do them, you know? It would be so much easier for me to figure out who or what I like to play by looking at the moves that people submit, looking at combos that people submit, and then going with those. That'd be wildly satisfying. I would like that a lot. Anyways, we're done with this chick. I already did her story mode. It's, she's literally saved by Ed, and then that's it. She just has the